Vikings, we missed you.
And we have so much to catch up on.
So, welcome to the newest episode of Rbtv, hosted by the J and the T.
To open up the show, as we close out this month, we want to recognize that it is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. This is a time to recognize and celebrate the contributions and impacts that the Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders have had on American culture in the United States.
We also celebrated Ramadan, so Ramadan Kareem to our Muslim family here at the beach. There are a lot of misunderstandings of what Ramadan is due to a lack of understanding or just sometimes pure ignorance. But Ramadan overall is a period of self reflection for Muslim people and a strengthening of their connection with God through acts of abstinence, fasting, and prayer. Ramadan started last month on April 12th and ended this month on May 12th.
During May, we also celebrated my favorite season, tourist season, and Eid, also seeing our seniors commit to their colleges, and the Queen Nikki is back on her throne.
Miss Barb!
Barb! Barb for life.
Period. But now that May is basically over, we're on to June. So chaotic Gemini season, Pride, Juneteenth, and the beginning of summer. Yeah, it's up from here. Well, that's all that we have right now. So now over to you, Henson, with those sports.
Hey Vikings, this is Henson with your sports news. This week, girls basketball will play on Tuesday versus Holy Names, boys basketball on JV at Franklin on Monday, and varsity on Tuesday versus O'Day. Wrestling has a match on Tuesday at Roosevelt. Baseball will play on Monday versus O'Day and Thursday at Franklin. Boys soccer on Wednesday versus Eastside Catholic and Thursday versus Eastside Catholic. Tennis has a game on Tuesday versus Garfield and Thursday versus Chief Sealth. Softball will play on Thursday versus West Seattle, and track has a meet on Thursday at Rainier Beach. For more scores and schedules, you can check out the Metro League website. I'm here with Coach Mike of the baseball team. Coach, how has the team performed this year?
Well, I guess considering the years past that we've had, I think we've had an incredibly good year. We've had a great group of guys, and they all seem really dedicated. So at the end of the day, it's about kids having fun and learn a little bit about the game. So I think it's been an incredible success.
What are your expectations for the team going forward this season?
Well, as we continue to improve every game and every practice, I hope we, have good games. That's really all. You want to win, obviously, but winning or losing really doesn't matter. If you take something good from a game and grow and build on that, I think that it's a positive experience, and that's, again, the most important part of this.
What improvements have you seen from the team this year?
Oh, Lord. We've gone from a ball team that had a difficult time stopping a ground ball or catching a ground ball to, or catching a fly ball to, kind of like a team who looks like they know what they're doing out there a little bit. So everybody's put a lot of time in and learned their job and has definitely helped contribute.
How has the team adapted during the pandemic?
Well, as you can see, we're wearing masks and trying to keep some social distance and stuff. We wipe down the gear when we can. We talk to the guys about getting vaccinated, and also social distancing. Masking up in the dugout is now a required rule. So there are some changes, but like anything else and every other thing, you learn to adapt and you move on. It's about the game.
All right, thanks, Coach.
You bet. Thanks.
Thanks, Henson, for keeping us posted on what's up with sports. I never knew people actually liked baseball, though. Go Vikings! Now, over to you, Lance, with sports. Socially distanced.
So I'm Dr. Thea Kirai-Tagle. I'm a professor of women's gender and sexuality studies and critical ethnic studies at the University of Massachusetts, Boston. When I teach and talk about ethnic studies, again, there's so many different ways to doing that. Of course, I talk about the history, right, of laws like the, Chinese Exclusion Act, 1882, for example, right, when it comes to teaching Asian American history. But one of the things I'm most passionate about is contemporary art, actually. And when I work with artists and also teach ethnic studies classes, there's always a focus on looking at how Asian American, Black artists, queer artists, other artists of color have used things like, you know, social media, mass media, film, photography, sculpture, poetry to, you know, transforming history. And so for me, it's been really the most rewarding, first to work with artists and like help them platform their work through art shows and other spaces so they can share their message directly to folks. And then also to teach that to students. It wasn't always this way for our communities. And when I say our communities, I mean larger Asian American communities, and for sure with Filipinx American communities, right? Like model minority myth comes up after 1965 when immigration laws completely changed, because from 1924 to 1965, there's pretty much a total immigration ban on Asians. We're not allowed in. Filipinos are allowed until 1945 because we were a US colony and they wanted our cheap labor. So we were allowed to come in, only men primarily, as farm workers and alasqueros or, you know, cannery workers in really horribly low paying and abusive jobs until 1945. And then we were banned too, right? Until 1965, when all these immigration laws changed and allowed different quotas of different Asian immigrant groups to come. And so, you know, this idea of model minority and that Asians are the model minority totally happened in this moment in the 60s when you have Black and Latino folks are, you know, organizing for Black power and fighting against white supremacy. And it was super convenient, right, for the US government to be importing in the most privileged and trained and talented Asians as an example of what a good minority looks like, because they were trying to destroy Black and brown solidarity. And they were trying to disprove, right, what Black power organizers were calling for, which was, right, an end to systematic racism. Redefine what it meant to be divine. It's really important for all of us who are Asian and Asian American to recognize that, like, this notion of the model minority myth hurts all of us. It hurts Black and brown folks who are pitted against us, right, because they are being shown as, right, people who are not as hardworking or are, you know, taking advantage of government resources, and we're not, which is completely untrue. And it also does damage to our own communities as Asian Americans, because it erases the stories of so many of us who come as refugees, right? Who come as working class people, who are undocumented. We recognize that we are among those who do have economic privilege or have light skin privilege or whatever it is that lets us be treated better in society than others, is to use that privilege towards, right, organizing for the rest of us who don't have that. Communicate through music what my rhymes would say if they were... This idea of, you know, Mexicans as undocumented people and of other Southeast Asians as coming in to steal American jobs, you have to look at the longer history to see, like, the US has actively encouraged, right, and even brought in Mexican, Filipino, Chinese workers at different points to take advantage of us, right, and to, again, use it to underpay all of us, not just different white immigrant people, and also to underpay Black and other Asian and other Latino immigrants. I think it's really important to study this and to see it so that we can see the ways, again, to undo this model minority myth and really point out, like, hey, the model minority myth in terms of the US bringing in and opening their doors to special immigrant workers who are doctors and lawyers is just part of a bigger pattern, right, of the US taking what it wants from all of our countries, our home countries, for their own purposes, and then trying to discard us when they're done with us. And it's not right. And all of us who are advocates or organizers for immigrant rights, like, this is a really key part of the argument. Like, we are here in the US because you wanted us here. And we're not leaving. We're just going to keep staying. And, you know, yeah, we just have to continue fighting for better recognition, better rights, better treatment, better payment, and also for folks who don't know that history of why and how our communities ended up in the US to do their homework.
that I can do. Give thanks to the most, the least that I can do. The least that I can do. Give thanks to the most, the least that I can do. I give thanks to the most, the least that I can do. Give thanks to the...
I just really love Lance's segment. It's just something new and fresh for the girls. Like, I just love learning from it. It's like I just feel so scholarly and so like studious every time I finish one, you know? I just really think it's my favorite. But also, happy college signing week, everybody, or mainly to our seniors. But it's just really been a ball watching and seeing all of our 2021 seniors celebrate their future plans of their own education. Seeing Vikings get into USC, UC Berkeley, Xavier, Howard, literally all over. We are just so immensely proud of all the hard work that y'all put into you guys' own educations. And we just hope that you guys are even more proud of yourselves for the hard work y'all put in for this past year. Because, girl, I get it. It's been hard. But also just another update for our seniors. Remember that the deadline for your photo to be in the senior slideshow is May 12th, which is also the end of Ramadan. But if you need any more information on that, please reach out to Angelina Riley. It's been a great episode, you guys, and we're glad that y'all stuck with us into the end. So until next time, or until I see you guys next week on Monday in person. So be safe, though. I hope you guys are wearing your masks. But at the beach, everybody, like literally everybody, like I don't know how many people are there. I don't know how many people are out of school, but like everybody is like a somebody. So remember that. Like, bye, you guys.